Hello once again and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are enjoying the videos, or the one video I've done so far. I fixed the sound issue, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me a lot better. But I am Blackwell76 and I am looking at Warlocks in World of Warcraft Legion, currently in the alpha, on into the beta and into the game. Little background, I have not played a Warlock main spec since the last remaining month of Icecrown Citadel. Wrath of the Lich King, and I have been playing mostly Death Knights and monks from that point on. So my experience with Warlocks is very very limited. So basically, you're going to get the opinions from the point of view of a noob who is just starting to play Warlocks on live, based on what I've seen in Legion. They look to be the most fun class. From what I've seen, Demon Hunters are up there too, but so far I have been enjoying testing and playing around with Warlocks. And in this week, if you've been paying attention, the new hotness is the Destruction spec, and I'd hoped to show you everything involving talents, spells, and the artifact weapon. However, there is a slight bug in the artifact quest right now that if you get ahead of yourself in the scenario, the final scenario for the quest, as most people have and most people will, you will bug out that scenario and you'll have to hearth out, and there's so far no way for me to restart the scenario over. I'd have to delete the character and restart it, and they're doing the intro quest testing right now, which takes up about an hour of time plus an hour for the artifact. I basically am spent the last couple of hours trying to get to this point, and the artifact weapon, and time is limited, so I will not unfortunately be able to show you the artifact weapon. But for those of you that are planning Destruction Locks or would like to play Destruction Locks, I can give you, at least for this point right now, the spells and talents, and we will start with the spells. Again, I don't play Destro in live because I don't like I like seeing big numbers and crits, and I know that Destruction Locks are probably the best spec Warlocks in Warlords of Draenor right now. But for me, I just think Affliction and Demonology seems more suitable to the class. Other than that, I can't really explain it. But as far as I can tell, not a whole lot has changed as far as spell-wise for Destruction Locks. You have your Chaos Bolt, you have your Conflagrate, and you have your Incinerate. But going over the spells itself, you have Banish, which Banish is an enemy, is demon control, crowd control. Burning Rush is a talent. Chaos Bolt unleashes a devastating blast of chaos, causing chaos damage and restoring 35% mana. Chaos Bolt always critically strikes, and your critical strike chance increases its damage. Now, before I go on any further, I should point out that the mastery for Warlocks is, well, for Destruction Locks, makes a lot of these spells different. It basically, from what I can tell you, is Destruction Locks probably might be RNG damage based. Mastery, your spells deal a random amount of additional damage up to 45%. Damage you take is reduced at a random amount up to 10%. So you might do a bit extra damage, you might not. You might take a normal amount of damage, you might not. It seems to me like a roll of the dice every time you cast or get hit. So the critical strike damage of Chaos Bolt can seem very erratic at times. As far as I can tell, some people have pointed out that they've done 365k critical strike in one Chaos Bolt and 101k critical strike in a different Chaos Bolt. So Burst is, I guess, a roll of the dice. Going back, you have Command Demon, which of course is your abilities that your demons have. Conflagrate triggers an explosion on a target, dealing fire damage, and generates 1 soul shard. Integral part of the rotation, you get two charges of that. You obviously don't want to use both charges right away, I guess, unless you need to have the soul shards. I am not quite sure. I've only cast it one time before a Chaos Bolt based on a talent that I have. We'll get to those. Create Hellstone, create Soul Well, Demonic Gateway, drain life from the target, causing shadow damage and restoring health over 4.5 seconds. Enslave Demon, more control. Eye of Kilrog, Fear. It's a talent. Havoc is there and marks a target with Havoc for 8 seconds, causing your single target spells to also strike the Havoc victim. You can only do this on one target. Health Funnel, heal your pet. Immolates, burns the enemy, causing fire damage immediately and an additional fire damage over 15 seconds. And it's also got a 15% chance to generate one soul shard. Chance is doubled on critical strikes. Incinerate is your filler spell, draws fire towards the enemy, dealing fire damage. You got life tap, restore mana. Rain of Fire is your AoE, but as far as I can tell, based on, I guess, between what's live right now and the alpha version, you will not be able to immediately AoE with a Destruction Lock anymore because it will cost you 3 soul shards. As you can tell right now, I have 0 soul shards, so I'd have to build up my soul shards in order to do that, which means probably having to cast Immolate, then Conflagrate twice. But then if I cast it, I lose a Chaos Bolt, which would seem to me, even in a crowd AoE situation, a DPS loss based on the buff that Chaos Bolt gives me, which again is a talent, and I'll get to that. Let's see, so Rain of Fire calls down a Rain of Hellfire, dealing fire damage over 6 seconds to enemies in the area. Ritual Summoning, summon friends. Soulstone, your battle res, summon demons, summon Doomguard, cooldowns. Most of that is pretty much the baseline skills or pass spells for all warlocks. Like I said, Mastery Chaotic Energies, you have your random RNG as far as how much damage you're going to deal based from the base damage. And then you have Soul Leech, which is a passive, basically making warlocks a little bit more tanky. And as far as PvE concerned, you're probably going to have to take a certain talent with this. PvP is going to be a bit different. I don't do PvP, so I'm sorry if you are a PvP warlock. I am not going to be of much use to you. But on into talents... oops, yeah, that's what I wanted. I just didn't want that. Alright, so your tier 15, or your level 15 talents, you have Backdraft, causing Conflagrate. Casting Conflagrate reduces the cast time of Incinerate and Chaos Bolt by 30% for 5 seconds. I haven't really noticed a whole lot of, like, terrible cast time for Conflagrate and for Incinerate, or Chaos Bolt Incinerate, so sure, that could come in handy. The talent I am using is Roaring Blaze, where Conflagrate increases your remaining immolation damage on the target by 50% until Immolate expires or is refreshed. So, being that Immolate is your main dot, you're going to want to have 100% uptime on it. It would seem to me that more damage on that dot is probably, more crucial to me. Plus, with the way Mastery works, you might get more damage out of each tick, and plus 50% of that. I don't know if it stacks or not. Shadow Burn blasts the target for 18,000 for shadow damage, and generates 2 soul shards if the target dies within 5 seconds. So, yeah, a good amount of damage. I don't know, based on the costing of 1 soul shard, if I would use it. I can tell you I'm probably not going to play Destruction Lock anyways, so there might be reasons to have Shadow Burn versus Roaring Blaze, but for me right now Roaring Blaze seems to be the best talent in that tier. Your level 30 Reverse Entropy reduces the cast time of Chaos Bolt and Rain of Fire by 0.5 seconds, and they restore 35% of your maximum mana. I haven't had a mana problem, so I maybe would change this one. This is more single target, where Fire and Brimstone, your next talent, is more would seem to be an AoE talent to have at this point. Incinerate now hits all enemies near your target, so again, probably good in an AoE situation. You take Fire and Brimstone, Reverse Entropy, probably in single target or mana tap. Consumes 40% of your current mana to grant 10% increased damage for 20 seconds. That could be a very useful single target talent as well. Demon Skin, this is the tier that pretty much is, if you're PvE, you're likely going to take Demon Skin because it gives you Soul Leech absorption. Now passively recharges at a rate of 1% of maximum health every 1 second, and may now absorb up to 20% maximum health. Now, going back to Soul Leech. Soul Leech, all single target damage done to you or done by you and your minions grants you and your pet shadowy shields that absorb 50% of the damage dealt. That's right. That's all buggy. 50% of the damage dealt until cancelled, up to 50% maximum health. Add to that Demon Skin, your Soul Leech absorption now passively recharges at a rate of 1% of maximum health every 1 second. So you're going to have a shield. And it does absorb quite a bit of damage. I've noticed as a demo lock that my pet hardly takes any damage. I've not had to use Health Funnel. I don't even know why I have it on my taskbars right now. Going to Mortal Coil and Shadow Fury. Mortal Coil probably going to be your go-to PvP talent. Horrifies an enemy target for into fleeing, incapacitating for 3 seconds, and healing you for 11% of maximum health. Shadow Fury, crowd control, AoE, stuns all enemies within 8 yards for 3 seconds, and as I mentioned in the previous video, probably be useful for boss fights like Azul Harak, where you need to stun a bunch of imps so that they don't cause damage, and don't leave Fellfire everywhere, kind of thing. Your level 60 talents, Eradication Chaos Bolt, increases the damage you deal to the target by 12% for 6 seconds. Now, I chose this talent, and it's the way and the way I do my rotation is based pretty much around this particular talent. I'll go over the rotation, but I have no idea. I might be able to find a targeting dummy to show what I do, but I haven't explored Dalaran all that much. And if you go into the underbelly right now, it's a PvP nightmare. Cataclysm conjures a cataclysm at the target location, dealing Shadow Flame damage to all enemies within 8 yards and inflicting them with Immolate. So Cataclysm and your Fire and Brimstone, probably great talents to have in AoE situations. And Soul Harvest, you might take this if you need a lot of bursts right away, because it generates 5 soul shards immediately. As you can see, it's a baseline 2 second cast, reduced by haste. It's on a 2-minute cooldown. I haven't read the Destro lock forums, so I can't tell how people feel about it, but as far as demo lock forums go, not a lot of them feel that this is a particularly great talent. Basically, I chose it as my demo lock as a opener for a fight, but I hardly ever use it in the middle of the fight because of the long cast time. Relatively long cast time. Your level 75 talents, Demonic Circle, summons a Demonic Circle for 6 minutes, allowing you to cast it again to teleport to this location. Y'all know what that is. It's not a talent, it's a spell in live, but it's become a talent in Legion. A Burning Rush increases your movement speed by 50%, but also damages you for 4% of your maximum health every 1 second. Movement impairing effects may not reduce you below 100% of your normal movement speed, lasts until cancelled. This is the talent that I've pretty much been using on every spec that I've tested so far. And Dark Pact sacrifices 20% of your demon's current health to shield you for 400% of the sacrificed health for 20 seconds. If you have no demon, your health is sacrificed instead. Usable while suffering from control impairing effects. So, situational boss fight. Grimoire Supremacy, you are able to maintain control over even greater demons, indefinitely allowing you to summon a Doomguard or Infernal as a permanent pet. I haven't used it because, well, basically I can say is that it seems like the pets are ridiculously huge, and I don't know if that's the way it is in live because I haven't used Supremacy, but every once in a while it gets in the way of things and it gets annoying. Grimoire Service summons a second demon which fights for you for 25 seconds. It deals 100% increased damage. The demon will immediately use one of its special abilities when summoned. this is what I was using for elite fights, boss fights. I would, if I was in my artifact and actually questing within the burning the Shattered Isles in the dungeon, I might use this right away, and then on cooldown to increase my damage, my burst. Grimoire sacrifice your demon to gain demonic power, causing your spells to sometimes deal shadow damage to the target and other enemies within 8 yards. Last 1 hour until you summon a demon. You might use this as well for extra damage, AoE situations. I think pretty much all three of these talents can be useful. And then your level 100 talents, Havoc now lasts, Wreak Havoc now lasts 20 seconds and has no cooldown. Certainly, probably very useful where you have two or three mobs that you have to kill. Boss fights like, like Zul'Harak, I guess. Again, when you're facing off against the Zul'Harak and the larger summon that he has. Channel Demon Fire launches 15 bolts of Fellfire over a number of seconds at random targets afflicted by your immolation within 40 yards. Each bolt deals fire damage. So, again, I can see Cataclysm, Channel Demon Fire, Fire and Brimstone all being very useful AoE talents with Grimoire Sacrifice, perhaps. And then Soul Conduit, every soul shard you spend has a 30% chance to be refunded. Probably what I would use in a situation where I'm not fighting bosses, questing, all that kind of stuff, world PvE. So yeah, those are the talents and spells. I need to get rid of this guy. I can't stand how huge they are. So I'm going to summon this guy. Where is he? Where's my spells? I get this guy out. And I will see if I can find a targeting dummy in Dalaran. The way I've been doing my rotation is I start off with Immolate, then I cast Conflagrate, and then Chaos Bolt, and then 3 Incinerates. Conflagrate, Chaos Bolt, Incinerate, Immolate, Incinerate, repeat. Basically, I want to make sure that I have that the eradication buff up when I cast a second Immolate for more damage. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a targeting dummy around here. If there is one, I probably missed it, and I apologize if there is one. I really have not explored Dalaran all that much. Well, maybe I can go to... Well, that'll work. So, I really wish I could have showed the artifact too. The quest itself, I will say that the quest for the artifact is pretty cool. I won't give away spoils about what you're doing. I still like the Demonology and Affliction Warlock artifact weapons more. They seem more warlocky. I guess I can't say that the Destruction Warlock one isn't. The weapon is called the Scepter of Sargeras, I believe. So, and what I can tell you that's not giving much away is that, well, maybe it will, so I won't say it. But, where were we? Well, anyways, so rotation-wise, have my pet out. What I would do, say, if this were a boss fight, we'll use this one. If this were a boss fight, a patchwork-style boss fight, what I would likely do is I would have, where is it at? I would have my Soul Harvest. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Eradication seems still better yet. So you start out the fight with 0 soul shards. Same with Affliction and actually same with Demo Lock for sure. I have to go back and play Affliction again to remember to see if it goes, if you start off with soul shards in that spec or not. But this is where a patchwork style boss. I would immediately start casting Immolate, Conflagrate, Chaos Bolt, and you'll see the buff that I get for damage. I would cast 3 of these, but I'm going to end up running out of that buff. Chaos Bolt, Incinerate, My dot has fallen out, so I'll refresh that. Um, and just keep going from there. I probably would summon that and have my other imp out so that I'm doing a much more burst damage right off the bat, or with um, time warp heroism. And I'm missing everything. Maybe I should go to the level 85 so you guys can actually see what kind of damage I'm doing. Let's see. We'll just do this. Alright, so we're going to try the level 85 boss instead so you can actually see the damage. It's funny, I wasn't expecting that at all. So, the kind of damage that you will be doing. Alright, so I've got soul shards this time around, but see what kind of chaos bolt crits you get. You know, there's almost 1,000,000. Rotation doesn't seem all that spectacular to me, but it is. It serves its purpose. You you prioritize certain things based on the talents that I've chosen to make sure that I'm getting the most out of my damage output. And I probably still I can't say that I'm doing this right, but you get the general idea of basically what you're dealing with as Destrolocks right now. So that's it for this week. Hopefully I have more time next week. I can go through the Destrolock quest and actually get the artifact and show you those artifact talents, as well as take a look at the affliction talents and whatever changes might be coming if there is a new build. So if you like what you see, if you want to know more, please feel free to ask questions. I will try to answer them as quickly as possible. Subscribe to my channel. You can also check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv /Blackwell76. I currently raid on the Airy Peak US server with 2 raid teams, Threat Level Midnight on Wednesdays and Sundays, and Epic Eggplant every Sunday and Monday. Both teams kind of taking a break while Legion is gearing up, but every once in a while I will be able to raid with them and broadcast. So please feel free to check me out over on Twitch as well, and hit like, hit thumbs up, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at Blackwell76, and I hope to see you again next week. And thanks for watching.